Well, here it is, one of the world's most intriguing, mysterious, controversial, yes, even forbidden cities.
With this size here, this is a peaceful revolutionary movement for change in China.
A place where dissent is unwelcome, where defiance can be deadly, where standing up against the government is dangerous, as the world saw in this very town square 30-plus years ago.
They call this place the Gate of Heavenly Peace, Tiananmen Square, and it's certainly blissful on this day we're visiting with so many other tourists, but it was anything but on that day in 1989, a day that so many young people in this country still know so very little about.
What is it like to visit Beijing? Is it safe to visit after COVID? And what about the tense relationship between China and much of the rest of the world right now? Will it make your travel here uncomfortable? We're taking you there and tackling all of these issues in this episode of Window Seat. Well, that's Sean right there. This is our van, and these fellow tourists are with us as we set out on a day tour of Beijing.
So go to the Forbidden City or the powerful emperor. Just like I told you, Forbidden City, 24 emperor kind of power from there.
While our tour guide gives us a brief history of one of the world's largest cities at 24.5 million people, and most important cities too, we brace for our most impactful stop on the tour, the Forbidden City. Our tour guide warned us, be careful with our cameras. Don't show police or military activity as we hurry through Tiananmen Square, one of the most important and controversial locations in Beijing, especially in recent history.
In the history of communist China, there has never been anything like this.
It was in this town square in 1989 that massive protests and a massacre unfolded, with the world watching.
Going too much. Tiananmen Square. Why? I think this is my duty.
That spring, some 100,000 students gathered in the square to protest the death of a reform leader and demand more political freedom and democracy. For weeks, the crowd built until the government had enough. In early June, they opened fire, crushed and arrested protesters. Estimates vary wildly, but anywhere from a few hundred to 10,000 protesters were killed here. And the world was left with this indelible image: Tank Man, an anonymous man blocking tanks from moving past him. He was eventually pulled away, the defining image of defiance. But no one knows who he is or whatever happened to him. These days, you'll find no mention of Tank Man or the uprising here. It's not taught in schools. The government has shoved it under the rug, instead opting for a sanitized version of this old city's history. Once past the square, we walk into a building adorned with the famous portrait of Chairman Mao Zedong. Few images are as iconic as this one, looming large over the square. Then we enter the heart of Beijing, the ancient Forbidden City, given that moniker because of its restricted access and secrecy. The palace was built in the early 1400s by the third emperor of the Ming Dynasty. During nearly 500 years, this palace served as the residence of 24 emperors. The buildings in the palace's inner court are where emperors and their consorts lived, where religious ceremonies took place, and where the work of the ancient government was done. But, as the name implies, this place was forbidden. Mortals were not welcome, and few would even dare come close to the imperial city. That is not the case anymore, though. These days, nearly 17 million tourists per year visit the Forbidden City, exploring every building and temple within the citadel walls. It is China's largest and most well-preserved collection of buildings, and it is a must-see if you come here. The question is, should you come here at all? Let's run down the negatives first. For one, U.S.-China relations are not exactly great at the moment. There was that whole spy balloon thing, the looming threat of war between the two countries, and the growing suspicion among American officials about the origins of COVID and whether the virus was leaked from a lab here. Combined, it does not make for the most hospitable welcome to this country. Not to mention air quality. If you have asthma or trouble breathing, this might not be the best place for you. Beijing has some of the most toxic air in the world. Here in China, 1 million people die every year from air pollution. But put all of those negatives aside, and let's run down the pluses. When we visited, the locals could not have been more welcoming. The food here is amazing and unforgettable, and where else can you absorb this kind of history? This is one of the oldest cities in the world, 3,000 years old. There are 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites here, from the nearby Great Wall of China to the Forbidden City. It is the cultural hub of this world superpower country, the first city to host both the Summer and Winter Olympics, too. And it has finally fully reopened its borders to foreign travelers after those strict COVID shutdowns for years. But you should know it is still hard to get here. Plane ticket prices are high. You'll need a tourist visa. Direct flights have not rebounded post-pandemic, and routes between the U.S. and China have been capped because of that bad blood between the world's 2 largest economies. Clearly, there are a lot of barriers in place, but if China's on your bucket list, now might be as good a time as any to go. And who knows, maybe you won't even encounter many crowds, which, in a country of 1.4 billion people, is really saying something.